Now let's get into the standings. We're going to elaborate a little bit more on the standings now that we are past the trade deadline, talk a little bit about who really has a shot to make the playoffs, how far out some teams are, things like that. So Toronto is still in first place in the American League East at 65-47. Boston is 4 games back at 61-51. New York is 4.5 games back at 60-51. Tampa Bay is 10 games back at 55-57, and Baltimore is 13.5 games out of first place with a record of 51-60. Over in the Central, Detroit is still number 1, 65-47. Absolutely dominating. Cleveland is 8 games behind them at 56-54. Then we have the Royals at 55-56, 9.5 games out. They're a team that I expect to make a really hard push and try to close that gap and maybe end up in a wild card spot in the American League, but it's going to be tough, especially when we get into the West. But rounding out the Central is Minnesota at 51-59, 13 games out. And the White Sox at 42-69, 22.5 games out of first place. Over in the West, Houston has the lead at 62-59. Seattle's 3.5 games back, 59-53. Texas is 4.5 games back, 58-54. The Angels are 9 games out of first place, which is surprising. Very, very surprising for me. They are 53-58. The A's are 14 games out. They're probably done for the year. They're just going to continue to try to develop some of these young guys into solid all-around MLB ball players. They're 49-64. Over in the National League, the Mets have the first place spot right now in the East, or as of close of games yesterday or Saturday, as I'm recording this, the 2nd of August. The Mets are 63-48. The Phillies are 62-48. So they're half a game back. 8 games back is Miami at 54-55. 16 games out of first place is the Braves at 46-63. Washington's 18.5 games out of first at 44-66. When we get over to the NL Central, Milwaukee is at the number 1 spot. They are 66-44. The Cubs dropped to 2 games back at 64-46. The Reds are 8.5 out at 58-53. The Cardinals are 11 games back at 55-65. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are 19.5 games out of first place at 47-64. The Dodgers are dominating the West at 64-47. Padres right behind them, 3 games out of first place at 61-50. I expect that to be a very close gap by the end of the season. Giants are 9 games back. They're probably going to drop off here going forward at 55-56. The Diamondbacks are 12 games back. They also are probably going to continue to lose a little bit more now that they've lost Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor, along with some other key players on that roster. They are 52-59. And the Rockies are 30-80, 33.5 games out of first place. Not a great year for Colorado. Sorry about it. I don't know what to tell you. You got a couple decent prospects through some trades at the deadline, but yikes, it's going to be a rough one. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about a solid prospect for Colorado coming up in a little bit. But when we look at our statistical leaders, Aaron Judge is still leading at his batting average with a 3.42 batting average. Jeremy Payne is right behind him, hitting 3.26. Jonathan Aranda's hitting 3.16. Jacob Wilson is hitting 3.12. Freddie Freeman, is hitting 3.02. Hits, Bo Bichette has the lead at 137. Manny Machado and Aaron Judge both have 129. Trey Turner has 128. Luis Arias has 127. Home runs, Cal Raleigh still in the lead with 42. Shohei Ohtani has 38. Aaron Judge is 37. Kyle Schwarber also has 37. And Eugenio Suarez is 36. When it comes to pitchers, Paul Skeens leads the way in ERA with a 2.02. Unreal. Tarek Skubal has a 2.18. Garrett Crochet has a 2.23. Matt Boyd goes into the top 5 with a 2.34. And Hunter Brown has a 2.47. Pitching for strikeouts, Zach Wheeler has the top spot at 182. Clark Scooble's right behind him with 181. Garrett Crochet has 175. Carlos Rodon has 156. Logan Webb has 155. Saves, Robert Suarez still in the number one spot with 31. Carlos Estevez and Josh Hader both have 28. Jeff Hoffman has 26, and Andres Munoz has 24.